Not worry about Corona.
Mom Melissa explaining monetary and supply donations added up to over $5,000. It's enough to create more than 950 backpacks for kindergarten through 4th grade students in 4 Muskegon County school districts. That's 15 to 25 kits per grade at each district's elementary schools.
It means so much to me as a parent that this is what my kids are focusing on during a time with the Corona. They're not worried about really catching the germs. They're worried about what can we do to make this a better place.
Teachers will then distribute the kits to their students. Peyton and Madeline believing it could connect students during a year in which not much can be shared.
It doesn't matter if you're helping a little or a lot, you're still changing the world.
Teaching them all a lesson of love.
It will help them learn, and emotionally it will know that they're special and that someone cares about them.
That was our Marisa Oberle reporting, and Peyton went on to say that she would love to do this next year or even expand work into local children's hospitals. And her mom is backing her up, but no definitive decision has been made just yet. Well, despite the ongoing pandemic, kids are packing up their belongings and heading off to college. Our Savannah Fish is live at GVSU with how this college tradition is taking shape this morning. Savannah, how's it hanging?
Hey, good morning to you, Brody. You can't see with my mask on, but my smile is big this morning. You can really feel the energy of move-in day for these freshmen here at Grand Valley State University, Allendale campus. I just spoke with one of the actual first students to make their way here at parking lot C. This is kind of the hub of where all of these students are gathering today. And this group right here is kind of organizing all the madness, directing them of where they want to go to the correct dorms and all of that good stuff. But I spoke with that first family that arrived here this morning, and they are so excited to be here. Just take a look at the scene, and you can see the parking lot, just how busy it is. This just opened 11 minutes ago, and already somehow all of these cars emerged out of absolutely nowhere, because I can tell you it was pretty much dead, and there's already a line wrapped around the block here at the Allendale campus. But what's really interesting about this year, just given that COVID-19, the pandemic, is that typically it'd be a very chaotic 3 days of moving in here on campus. But this has been stretched into a 7-day period to promote social distancing and make sure that move-in is done as smoothly and as safely as possible. Now, this is just one of the major changes being made at GVSU to allow for less traffic on campus and limit the potential spread of COVID-19. Faculty are saying that more than 5,000 new and returning students will be making their way into the residential halls, a process that's going to be lasting through the 27th. Now, students have been given specific days and times for their move-in and are being asked to only bring essential people out to help.
In past years, students would all go home and then they would come back. So we'd essentially have another repopulation event. And so the idea being, if we successfully repopulate the campus, hopefully we can keep everybody through to Thanksgiving. And it's just a much better approach to, our testing plans and things like that to kind of keep hold on to monitor the virus.
Now, obviously, the main mode of transportation for all of these families and students this morning is cars. But hey, beginning tomorrow, the new Laker line, which is a bus rapid transit, that will start its services. So for any students that might be making their way, for example, from downtown Grand Rapids, they can come here and use that transit line just to make traveling a little bit easier, especially during this chaotic week. But we're going to stick around here for the next half hour or so and bring you the latest look at move-in day, the first move-in day here at Grand Valley State University. But for now, live in Ottawa County, Savannah Fish, Fox 17 News.
Savannah, good to see some sense of normalcy returning to the town of Allendale. Thanks for that report. It's 8:13 coming up after the break. ACT scores are still not coming in for some high school seniors. What this means for their college applications and scholarships. Teachers still expected to spend big bucks on school supplies, even with social distancing. How you can donate to help them out. And it's all in what you eat if you're looking to be healthy. The benefits one study found from plant-based protein.
You're watching Fox 17 Morning News. You're watching Fox 17 Morning News with Brody Carter, Sarah Grimmer, and Anthony Dommel.
Some high school seniors are still waiting on their delayed ACT scores. Dan Grossman reports on how it's not only affecting their applications, but their chance at scholarships.
It takes a lot to turn ambition to apathy.
There's just a lot. There's a lot of anxiety riding on it.
But for Sarah Horner's daughter, Riley, who hopes to go to the University of Illinois next year, COVID has found a way.
I mean, I watched her get all excited to take it, and then I watched her just kind of like, you know, she's just done. She doesn't want to do it. And that's how a lot of the kids are.
As a senior in high school, she's waiting on scores from her ACT, a test she was scheduled to take in April but wasn't able to until June. It means applications, and especially scholarships that were supposed to be completed weeks ago, now can't be finished until the results come in.
It's been very tough watching her struggle, and it's not just me. I mean, there's parents all over the United States that are just as upset about this.
It's devastating. It is honestly devastating.
Enter Cecilia Walker and her son Seth, who was supposed to take the test in March.
Pretty much universal. All of my friends are having the same issues of getting hung up on by the ACT.
Seth is confident he'll get into Auburn University. What he isn't confident about is the $32,000 a year scholarship he's applying for, since he too doesn't have his score after his test was rescheduled for July.
It's a big bump.
Once COVID hit, tests were canceled and rescheduled for the summer. At the same time, the ACT had scheduled to launch a new website feature, overloading the system and causing it to crash. For parents and students who typically receive scores within 2 to 3 weeks of the test, it left them scrambling to find a recourse.
It's the difference between a $32,000 a year scholarship and nothing. And parents that have been planning that, all that's just been pulled out within, a year of your student going to college.
In an email, the ACT said, "We know this has been extremely frustrating for parents and students. For weeks, we've been working nonstop to improve the experience of engaging with ACT and will continue to do so to ensure students have every opportunity to achieve success," adding they will continue to roll out scores through August 31st.
She's going to take a few classes at a community college just so we are still getting, college credits.
A deadline too little too late for some families who had hoped to have applications already out the door. I'm Dan Grossman reporting.
Meantime, in education, teachers are also spending more money on back-to-school supplies, helping bridge the gap for kids headed back to class virtually. A survey by adoptaclassroom.org shows many teachers have spent about a third of their school supply expenses on distance learning materials. Nearly every 3 out of 4 teachers have spent money on printers, ink, and paper, and it's to make work packets for students who may not have access to computers or internet. Now, even in schools where classes are being held in person, Adopt a Classroom still expects teachers to spend more money on supplies.
They're actually spending more. 70% of the teachers we surveyed said that they have delivered supplies to students' homes, either by bringing them personally or by mailing assignments with supplies. In a normal elementary classroom, there's a basket of pens and papers and crayons and scissors on a table, and groups of students share those supplies to do projects. They're not going to be able to do that this year.
Well, there you go. We understand this is impacting all the teachers over the nation. People can now help those teachers financially by making a donation through adoptaclassroom.org, where teachers can then use that money to help fund their classrooms. Eating plant-based protein could be heart healthy. Stanford Medicine finding that people who ate plant-based protein saw lower cholesterol in levels and lost an average of 2 pounds. Now, the study included 36 people who ate 2 animal-based proteins per week in comparison to 2 plant-based proteins for 8 weeks. Now, the plant-based diet also showed lower amounts of a molecule that's linked to heart disease.
Okay, let's go to the weather maps now, and we'll start off outdoors in Grand Rapids, where we've got mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Obviously, there is sunshine coming on down, and temperatures which are in the 60s. They are on the rise, though, as we speak, and will likely be in the lower 70s by 9 o'clock, and then thereafter continuing to rise, lower to mid 80s, midday shortly thereafter, get to 89, 88, 89 degrees for a daytime high. Yesterday, by the way, did make it to 88 in Grand Rapids, made it to 89 in Kalamazoo on Saturday. Sunrise checked in at 6:57, sunset at 8:31, and southwest winds today, which are very light right now, around 5 miles per hour. Those will pick up to 10 to even 15 miles per hour, similar to yesterday. Nothing windy, but just a touch breezy as we get towards midday and thereafter. It's a very weak upper level impulse that is is working across the Midwest. I was tracking this yesterday morning over extreme eastern Minnesota and Wisconsin. It is in a weakened state at this point, has had enough oomph in the overnight, though, to produce some scattered showers out over the open waters of Lake Michigan and extending in the past couple hours into Oceana County. You can kind of see that on the first few frames. And that has moved off to the north of our viewing area, but did drag some heavier showers there briefly into northern Oceana County, nearby Hart and Pentwater, with some lightning strikes and some thunder. Not severe weather, but that is kicking out. Could there be an additional spotty shower for somebody this afternoon into this evening, or stray showers? Probably the better way to describe it, because coverage would be absolutely minimal. It is possible. So we will keep that in the forecast. Can't rule it out, and expect to stay completely dry, though, in any one given location for today. Up to 90 degrees tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, we deal with this ring of fire pattern, which refers to on the edge of a heat envelope, a heat dome, where some weather disturbances can track from time to time. And one of those may, in fact, come in here early on Tuesday morning, or at least nearby. The trajectory of it, I guess, could still change, but it does look like we've got a shot for a couple showers, even a few thunderstorms, and maybe even a gustier storm, particularly in northwestern sections of the viewing area very early on Tuesday morning. Keep an eye out for that. The whole idea with that heat, this ring of fire, is that it probably keeps us with a decent amount of clouds on Tuesday, partly sunny overall, but a decent amount of clouds, and we top out at 87. So I've taken that down, but the heat dome, it does come in briefly Wednesday into Thursday. We'll get to 94. Heat indices likely in the upper 90s, perhaps even near 100 degrees if everything works out just right or wrong, depending on your perspective. Eventually, though, the heat and the humidity, it backs off through Friday and Saturday. Those still humid on Friday, as this front will be dropping through with scattered showers and storms. By next Saturday, we should be much drier. Dew points dropping off, and temperatures that'll likely be struggling to make it to 80 degrees at that point in time. Feels like numbers. This is what I'm talking about. By Wednesday, we're in the upper 90s to around 100. We got a weather system in the Gulf of Mexico, folks. Looks like I'm running out of time here. We got to go to break, but I will talk more about Tropical Storm Marco in the next weather segment. Also, what is to be Hurricane Laura eventually coming into the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have more coming up here. We'll see you back after the break.
Many parents are looking for a socially distant night out before their kids' school year gets a little hectic. Joining us this morning is Mike LaMonaco, the Chief Community Engagement Officer for John Ball Zoo, to tell us about their adult night only. It's happening at John Ball Zoo. Tell us all about it.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, coming up this Thursday, August 27th, we have our second adult night out after hours at the zoo. And excited to welcome all those 21 and over.
Hey, that's a lot of fun. What are the details of this? Obviously, 21 and older, it means we might be able to have a beer and check out some of your wildlife, right?
Absolutely. Well, you can always have a beer at the zoo, but for our after-hours adult night out, it'll be the evening will be really catered for those 21 and over. We'll have some specialty drinks. Of course, we'll have our JBZ beer, which is in partnership with Brew Vivant, focused on protecting our Grand River watershed. We'll also have some specialty food, some other fun activities going on with our educators and animal staff. Excuse me. Rotating throughout the zoo, providing some educational opportunities around animals and the protecting the natural environment.
Well, that's great. Great opportunity to get outside, get out to the zoo and support your local community and what you guys are doing there. What other things are happening at John Ball Zoo that are exciting this season?
We've had a really exciting season. We've had our Brick Live Animal Paradise, which is going through October 25th. Over 40 brick sculptures, almost real life animal sculptures throughout the zoo. We have, of course, our new Meerkat Habitat, which has been really well received by the community. The meerkats are a lot of fun, and that's a very, very unique, one of the first of its kind habitats in North America. And of course, excuse me, we've had a lot of births at the zoo these last few months. Red pandas, Canada lynx, and others. And soon those red panda cubs should be making their way out into the habitat. We're excited for that too.
That is excited. Wyatt, the red panda, having a baby. Everybody celebrating about that here at Fox 17 News. Anything most important you want people to know about as we get those details up on the screen here about your adult night out special?
Yeah, absolutely. We anticipate we will sell out, so please go online to purchase those tickets at jbzoo.org. Tickets $18 for members, $20 for non-members. when we really ask that you bring your own mask if you can, that would be great. There will be certainly times where, social distancing might be a little bit challenging. And so we ask that you wear a mask during those times outdoors, and certainly for all indoor buildings.
Okay, and just remember to leave the kids at home because this is for adults only. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. It is 8:29 here at Fox 17 Morning News. Women are finding hope in new hair restoration therapies. How doctors are now using their own blood to boost growth.
Well, students and parents are lining up here at Grand Valley State Allendale campus. Take a look at this line wrapping around here at parking lot C. It is officially move-in day. Coming up, we're going to tell you all the steps that the university is taking to make sure that these students stay safe in the process.
You're watching Fox 17 Morning News with Brody Carter, Sarah Grimmer, and Anthony Dommel.
What's up, West Michigan? Don't forget to follow us on social media. All of our adventures happening both in and outside of the office. This is meteorologist Anthony Dommel hitting the links. I know Candace was out there as well. Some beautiful weather for it. Anthony, is that weather going to continue, or are you going to want to pack an extra water bottle in the cooler?
Well, it all depends on what you consider beautiful weather, Brody. I mean, do you like temperatures in the 90s? Do you like humidity? Is that really beautiful?
Well, it's better than what's coming. We got ice and snow coming, right? In about 6 months.
True.
So you better enjoy it while we have it.
I
right?
agree with that tenfold. I mean, I'll take the heat and humidity over wintertime all day long. So here we are in August, Brody, and we've still got a ways to go where you can still get warm. I know people think, oh, it's the end of the summer on the doorstep, but these are different times over recent years. We tend to stay warmer deeper into the fall season, and you can still get some heat waves even into September. I've seen it hit 90 degrees in October before. So, yeah, we've got some time to go, folks. Blue skies, some passing clouds, partly cloudy overall, I would say is the way to describe it, though. Mostly sunny conditions will be seen in various spots today. Really, there's not much of a difference between mostly sunny and partly cloudy. It's going to be a decent day, very similar to yesterday. A little bit of an uptick with the humidity overall, not a tremendous uptick, but to the point where you can sort of feel it a little bit more upon stepping outdoors. Readings, these are actual readings on the thermometer, mid to upper 60s to around 70 degrees. Winds are very light, but starting to show a little bit more so out of the south and southwest, around 5 to 6 or 7 miles per hour. Dew points, lower 60s. Those have crept upward. And any threat for rainfall, really not a whole lot. Sections to the north of our viewing area getting some showers and thunder showers, and that's because they're further removed from the high pressure that we have over our viewing area. Now, we did have some showers and thunder showers over northern Oceana County about a couple hours ago, nearby Hart and Pentwater, with some lightning strikes, not severe, but some downpours, but that's the exception and not the rule. Brody, we're going to 89, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Maybe a very rare sprinkle or shower. Don't count on it. I'll tell you when it rains, though, around here. That's coming up.
All right, looking forward to it. A new treatment for female hair loss is gaining a lot of attention. Sarah Grimmer explains how one local woman is finding hope in her own blood. Sarah, pretty interesting.
Yeah, it really is. So hair can reveal a lot about a person, everything from the texture and the style and the color that you choose. It can also be really traumatic, especially for some women, when your hair that you take for granted suddenly starts to disappear. So it's been a really emotional few years for Jamie Crum. She told Fox 17 that she started noticing her hair getting thinner and thinner, saying she saw a lot more scalp than usual. This gradual hair loss started affecting her confidence, so she decided to act. Jamie did some research and eventually opted for a non-surgical, more natural route. Dr. David Rossner, owner of Remedy Hair Restoration and Medical Spa in Grand Rapids, specializes in this kind of therapy.
So PRP, platelet-rich plasma, there's a lot of medical uses for PRP. You can do facial aesthetics with it, you can do joint injections with it, and then you can actually do hair restoration with it too as well. So it starts with a simple blood draw, and then we have a specialized centrifuge, which actually concentrates the platelets. And also you got to be careful where you go because every device is not equal. The device that we have has the highest concentration of platelets on the market. It's reliable, it's consistent, so we know the type of results that we're going to be expecting for our patients.
Dr. Rosner says some patients might have some swelling a couple days after the treatment, but it's usually tolerated very well. Plus, there's no downtime. That means patients go back to work right after this. For Jamie, she says the embarrassment that she once experienced with her hair loss is now replaced with a lot of optimism and encouragement. So anyone else that's dealing with something similar, just know there are options out there.
Sarah Grimmer, thank you very much for that report. Next on Fox 17 Morning News, despite the ongoing pandemic, kids are packing up their belongings and now headed off to college. Savannah Fish, she's been live all morning long at GVSU with how this college tradition is set to take shape. And it's kicked off and started very well. A strong presence there this morning, Savannah.
Hey, good morning to you, Brody. Well, it has been such a fun morning as we've been here at the Allendale campus at GVSU. And let me tell you, I mean, the spirits are high. We are going through a pandemic, but let me tell you, these freshmen are still so excited to officially be moving into campus here today. You can see the line behind me and all of the different parking and security people that are making sure that this goes as smoothly as possible. And to tell us a little bit about it, I have Kyle Boone. He is the director of housing here. Thank you so much for being with us today. How are you feeling? This is day one of move-in week.
I'm excited. It's my first move in here, Grand Valley. I just moved up here from Atlanta, so this is an exciting time for us. Exciting time.
Now, I mean, we were here earlier this morning. It was dead. Then all of a sudden, all these cars showed up. What has been the mood so far with all these families that have been coming through? I saw that you were interacting with some families just before this.
It's a lot of anticipation. They're excited to drop their kids off and their students and their scholars off. They want to make sure that they're safe, but they also want to make sure that they're settled. So this is their new home, and we want to welcome them to their new home.
Yeah, and such an exciting and new chapter for these freshmen. Move-in day, it's a big memory for these kids, but a lot of changes with COVID-19. What are some of the precautions that you guys are taking as a university throughout this move-in week?
Yeah, you see it now. We're all wearing masks. You are required to wear your mask in your building, in your car. So we're asking these type of questions. We're also doing assessments. Online, there is a self-assessment that you can do that gives you a green check, and that green check just basically says that you are able to move around campus efficiently, right? Yeah. The other things that we're doing some randomized testing as well, but that's from a different level. We're just trying to make sure that students are being checked and they're being safe. And we also just created a pledge, and the pledge is for the students to basically say, I'm going to make sure I do no harm to my other friends and my other community members. So there's a lot going on, but we're trying to create some accountability, some new education precautions, and just make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, and for anyone that's unfamiliar with that daily check-in, and as far as testing goes, are those things required, those daily check-ins and being tested as well?
Indeed, it's not required as far as the testing, but they are going to ask students to randomize testing. But as far as the daily check-in, yes, if you're on campus every day, you should do your daily assessment every day.
I'll have to say that this is probably, you guys have never done this before. We've never been through a pandemic like this, but this is very scheduled, very organized. Yes. So I'm wondering, do you guys think that you'll carry this on in years to come?
Right. I think everybody's trying to establish the new norm. This is going to be something that's really efficient for us because we are really bringing move into you, right? And that's the thing that's going to challenge every college campus to the date is how do we bring the college experience to you? So I think we will keep some of this, but time will tell. Yeah. I would love to be in a space where I can take my mask off, high five some families, and see and hug parents as they cry when they leave their son and daughter out of or their scholar out of the space. But that time isn't now. So since it's not now, we have to figure out what to do.
Yeah, definitely a lot of emotions here today from students, maybe being excited, a little nervous, and parents, of course, very upset that their kids are leaving. Right. So I guess if for students that are coming in that maybe aren't here just yet, what do you want them to know as they go through this week and into this unknown, basically?
Right. Check your email. I really, really want you to check your email because we want you to come in at your assigned date and time. We want to make sure that you're maintaining social distance, and that's one of our ways of doing it. The other thing is be patient with us. We're going to teach you some new things, but hopefully you can teach us how to best serve you because that's the point. We're going to get through this together.
Awesome. Kyle, thank you so much, and welcome to West Michigan. So we appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, you guys. Well, we are going to wrap up here as things are wrapping up on our show, actually, in just the next half hour or so. But move-in, it's continuing throughout the week, so make sure you stay with Fox 17 News. We'll bring you all the updates as they become available. But for now, live in Ottawa County, Savannah Fish, Fox 17 News.
All right, best of luck to all the students this academic school year. Savannah Fish, thanks for that report. Time now is 8:41. Coming up after the break, hitting the range for a good cause. We're talking with a representative from Family Network of Wyoming about the 14th annual Golf Classic.
Okay, 8:44, everybody. We got a lot to talk about in this weather forecast, including what could become 2 hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico over the next, day to 3 or 4 days. And we'll get to it right now. We got mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies around West Michigan. There have been some additional clouds floating in within the past couple of hours, and that's due to a weak weather disturbance that really is not going to do much more than just add some additional clouds today. Not talking about an overcast, just a mixture of sun and clouds here into the afternoon. We'll take it to 89 degrees. Sunrise, by the way, at 6:57, so that approaching 2 hours behind us at this point, and a sunset does come in today at 8:31. Southwest winds very light right now, pick up slightly 5 to 15 late morning and 4 this afternoon. Here is this disturbance from northeast down to the southwest in Illinois, and there's a lot of real estate in between where there's nothing going on, just some broken clouds. That's pretty much all we're going to get today. Some showers and thunder showers just to the north of our viewing area. Did have a couple thunder showers work on through Oceana County about 2 hours ago, and pretty much right on track. We've got high pressure overhead. This disturbance trying to break that down slowly from west to east, eroding away at the high pressure. So the net result is that the further west and northwest you go, that's where the best shot for a shower is. But it looks like a lot of this fading away. You can see that shower over Lake Michigan right now. As that creeps closer to Ottawa County, likely that will shrivel up completely. But again, did have some heavier downpours in Oceana County. That has moved off to the north. Look at the temperature trend forecast. We get to 90 tomorrow. Should be pretty balmy. Humidity will be felt. So feeling like the mid 90s, I think, with the heat indices. We dropped to 87 on Tuesday. That's because of some additional clouds and the chance, at least, for a morning thunderstorm cluster to kind of come on through, probably weakening as it does so, but could have some gusty winds off to the northwest, in closer proximity to where they will be originating in Wisconsin late on Monday evening. So keep tabs on that. Early Tuesday could have some rain around nearby, and then early on Wednesday may have a second cluster of showers and storms to impact especially northern and northeastern sections along a warm front on the periphery of this heat dome. That heat will blast in, though. The precipitation will get out of here, so briefly surging to very high levels on Wednesday afternoon, early evening. It'll stay warm on Thursday, then late Thursday into Friday. This cold front approaches, and it seems as though that'll be our best shot for some area-wide, at least wider spread rain in the form of showers and storms at that time. Still several days down the line. We can only cross our fingers that we can get some rainfall around here, but it would appear as though late Thursday into Friday our best chance. But we'll have that opportunity as soon, I think, as early on Tuesday morning as well. Feels like temperatures, heat indices by Wednesday afternoon up around 100 degrees perhaps. But keep in mind, we're already going to be in the mid 90s tomorrow with the heat indices. I just wanted to show you the graphic where I've got the highest number, and that looks to be on Wednesday. This is Tropical Storm Marco in the southern Gulf of Mexico being impacted by southwesterly shear. That means winds at the upper levels are pretty strong and blowing the tops off of some of those thunderstorms. So that keeps the system in check intensity-wise. We'll see if that holds sway, because there are some indications the shear could back off for a period today. System may in fact reach a Category 1 status at that point. We'll see how that goes. Then it curves into Louisiana, the bayous of Louisiana. At some point, it does look like very late on Monday. This track has come further eastward dramatically versus yesterday. So lots of changes with tropical systems sometime. And take a look at this. Tropical Storm Laura over the Dominican Republic as we speak. The southern part of that island and moving off to the west. A very well-formed system, good outflow. It looks very healthy, but being impacted by land at the current time. This will likely skirt the southern shores of Cuba. If it holds on to that really nice organization pattern, if it gets out over open waters, folks, all bets are off. This thing could explode into a very strong hurricane. Latest update from the National Hurricane Center does actually take that to 100-mile-per-hour Category 2, and it's possible it could go stronger than that. So you want to keep tabs on that system down south and making landfall in fairly close proximity, Brody, to where it appears Marco will be. So this is going to be very interesting with regards to the Gulf of Mexico over the next couple of days. Our weather pattern just looking hot and humid. I've already spelled it out for you. Chances of rain there from time to time. Eventually it does go cooler and drier by next weekend.
All right, Anthony, thanks for that. Well, if you love